Headline off the Kansas City Star: unprecedented. NATO shoots down Russian drones. And this was put up yesterday. Today is Thursday, September the 18th, 2025, the year of our deliverance and of Esau's destruction and judgment. Before I go any further, I'm going to give all glory, honor, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, along with the bishops and elders who rule and teach the church well, and salutations to the elect. House of David by Shadawadah, beginning with his servants, the prophets, the 144,000, to include the remainder of that remnant, consisting of men, women, and children, believers, those among Israel who have been given this gift of faith and who are cleaving to the testimony of the prophets in these last days. Clearly, we are in the last days of Esau, Edom's, the so-called white man's rulership in this earth, and the destruction of his precious America is at hand. All right, here it is. We've been inundated for the last several days ad nauseum. All we've heard about is Captain Kirk. All right, you know who I'm talking about. These Edomites, all right, these so-called white people, they out here literally worshiping this guy, like literally, as if he was the second coming of the Lord. Anyway. Yeah, he was promoting the Lord of the Flies. He was promoting JC. Right now, he met his maker. All right. Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai had him deleted. He is in the presence of the Lord, shitting himself right now, realizing that the one he called God is a so-called black man, and his only begotten son is a so-called black man. And their names, he's done realized, are not God and Jesus Christ. Anyway, I'm sick of hearing about that fucking clown. All right, this is what's really important right now. World War III updates. Whenever the media pushes a story to the point they're pushing the story, you have to ask yourself some questions. I'm talking to you Israelites, man, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. You have to ask some questions. What do they not want me looking into? They don't want you looking into Bible prophecy. Talking to you speckled bird brothers and sisters too. All right? And there's other things going on. Like, there's a lot of things that are happening. All right? And the Lord, through his men, all right, sees all this. Okay? Again, off of the Kansas City Star, it says unprecedented NATO shoots down Russian drones. This third world war is heating up over there in Poland. Anyway, I'm just going to read this, grab a few precepts, Lord willing, use edified through the Spirit. Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk has reported that 19 Russian drones violated Polish airspace, prompting NATO forces to shoot down several UAVs. All right, NATO, the beast, right? The beast, NATO. All right, the 10 horns on that beast, the EU powers, and the whore riding it all throughout the earth. All right, America, right? It says he invoked NATO's Article 4 to initiate consultations, citing heightened security concerns for Poland. Tusk described the incursion as unprecedented and noted the seriousness of the provocation. Tusk, Slovakia stated, last night the Polish airspace was violated by a huge number of Russian drones. He added, this is not our war. This is not just a war for Ukrainians. This is a confrontation that Russia has declared on the entire world. And actually, it's not Russia, it's Gog. The land is Magog. All right. Let's see. And we all know how this ends, man. All right, read Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, right? It said, Tusk said, most likely we are witnesses to a large-scale provocation. He added, this is the first time Russian drones have been shot down over the territory of a NATO country. President DJT wrote, what's with Russia violating Poland's airspace with drones? Here we go. Russia denied all the leaders of all these countries too, man. I'm laughing because they all Freemasons, man, and they all in this thing together, and they all being manipulated by Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai controls the heart or minds of all these kings, man. Pursuant to the book of Proverbs. Matter of fact, that's Proverbs. Let's get that. And this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 21 and verse 1. The king's heart, all right, or mind is in the hand of the Lord Yahweh. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So the Lord is the one turning these men, okay? But, he's manipulating their every move, all right? And ultimately, he's the one who's going to have Vladimir Putin, okay, and along with these other world leaders, okay, come against the beast, and particularly come against America with those ICBMs, the intercontinental ballistic missiles. The place about to be fucking destroyed, man. All right, that's what you Israelites need to be pondering every day. You need to be fleeing the shadow of this world and thinking about, what's to come, man. A righteous kingdom is getting ready to be set up in this earth. And at least you repent, you're going to be destroyed, man, and perish over here in the lake of fire during the time of Jacob's trouble by one of these sad perils that's coming to this place, man. And we just getting started, man. This is the beginning of sorrows over here in America. All right, it says, Russia denied deliberately targeting Poland, but European leaders dismissed the claim. German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius said the scale of drone incursions indicated malicious intent, while Italian Defense Minister Guido Crosetto called it a deliberate attack meant to test NATO's resolve. All right, continuing on, it says, Pistorius said there's no evidence whatsoever that this amount of drones flew over this route over Slovakia, Polish territory by accident. Chatham House, Russia, and Eurasia Program Senior Fellow Keir Giles said it is a test for Europe and NATO regardless of Russia's intent. And who's to say it? Vladimir Zelensky in Ukraine didn't have anything to do with this. Poking that bear. And the Most High fixing to put hooks in the jaws of so-called Russia, man, and turn them back into that superpower, man, that USSR superpower that they was, years ago. This is all Bible prophecy. This is Ezekiel's the 38th chapter all day long. All right, but our people don't care, man. They don't consider. Our people don't even consider that they Israelites, let alone do they consider, how they're gonna navigate through Jacob's trouble. Let me get that in Isaiah, because I've been doing a lot of talking. Let's let the Lord speak through his servant Isaiah. Let's see, this is Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. Two stupid animals, man. All right? But the ox knows his owner, and the ass his master's crib. It says, but Israel doeth not know, my people doeth not consider. Our people don't even consider the fact that they Israelites. That they part of a holy royal nation of people, a people above all people on the face of the earth. Man, that's fucking crazy, man. But it's Bible prophecy, right? Zechariah the 13th chapter that 2/3 of our people gotta die in this dry and barren land called America. This shithole, this hellhole. All right, for refusing to come back to the law, statutes, commandments, and repent, man. All right, it says, again, it says, Chatham House, Russia, and Eurasia Program Senior Fellow Keir Giles said it is a test for Europe and for NATO, regardless of Russia's intent. He added, Russia will learn from European resolve and specifically Poland's capacity to withstand attacks of this kind. Bullshit. This is the book of Zechariah, right? You know, and actually, you know, I just referenced, you know, Zechariah 13, right? But this is Zechariah 14. All right, so forgive me, Salakia. All right, Zechariah chapter 14 and verse 12 reads, and this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord Yahweh shall smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Jerusalem is a people before a place. This is not talking about people coming against them small hats in the so-called Israeli state, against those 1948ers. This is talking about all the nations who have fought against the Lord's people. Again, it's the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, right? Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, right? Remember Terminator Part 2? Sarah Connor grabbing the fence. She's having a vision of the destruction, the nuclear destruction, all right? She's seeing it, right? What happened to her character, all right, played by Linda Hamilton, right? This is what happened, man. This is where these elites or these Hollywood weirdos get their ideas from the scriptures. All right, it says, their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. That's right, man. You know, Poland talking all that, Poland talking that shit, right? The Lord's fixing to jack, all right, Esau up, man, all right? Specifically, you know, America and the Israeli state, all right? This is the book of Malachi, chapter 4 and verse 1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, right? World War III. Okay, and all the proud, yeah, and all that do wickedly, Esau, right, shall be stubble. And that, you know, goes for 2/3 of our people as well, man. Because 2/3 of our people are wicked as fuck. All right? It says, shall be stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn them up. Right? Saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. All right, so, you know, this is what's important right now. And this is what, if you are Israelite, you ought to be, you know, concerned with, you know, the time of Jacob's trouble, man, which is, again, is going to culminate with this nuclear destruction. All right, so anyways, just a quick news and prophecy update. Lord willing, again, you was edified through the Spirit. And with that, I want to say shalom. Us on to the next video.